be joined by 2016 GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. We've invited people from all over the great state to join us. We have a lot to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome, Mr. Donald Trump.
Great people.
Is this crowd incredible? It's a nice crowd. Wow. Good to see you. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You've got to be happy. New York is next. In the last two polls, you were at 60 and 61%.
Right.
When I look at the state of Pennsylvania, you are up considerably there as well, right here as well. You are now over the 50% mark in Connecticut. You are up to, what, 48% in Maryland. You're up a 20-point lead there. So things seem to have moved in a very positive direction.
I think so. I think it's been amazing, and, you know, Pennsylvania's amazing. I went to school in Pennsylvania. So, you know, I think we're going to do fantastically all over. We have so many great numbers. And New York has been incredible. We have a 40-point lead, and I think we're going to do well. I hope. I hope. It's politics. Who knows?
If you look at the delegate count, right now you won 61% of the delegates available. You would need 57% of all delegates remaining, including unbound. Certainly within your capacity, if you have a good showing in New York, Pennsylvania, and some of these states. Is that your hope and goal, that it's not a contested convention?
I think so. I think so. I'm the only one that can do that. I think so. I love this group. Yeah, I mean, that would be what I'd like to do. I'd like to be able to close it out. I think it's all about, we want to make America great again, and we're going to do that. We're going to do it. And people understand that. We seem to be doing very well in places that I thought we'd be doing well, and we've done. You know, I won the entire South. We won Alabama and Arkansas and Florida. By the way, Florida was, you know, a tremendous victory, and. You know, it's sort of funny. I went to South Carolina, and I was expected to not win there, and we won in a landslide. We won New Hampshire. We won Massachusetts. A lot of diverse states. So we've had it's been an amazing, I've had an amazing period of time, and I've gotten to know the people in this country. And we have great people, I can tell you. We have amazing people.
You know, I want to especially talk, you know, Pittsburgh went through a very tough economic transition, and they're coming out on the other side of it because of the people in this room, in part. I want to ask you first, though, about Colorado in particular.
Right. Because
you said you felt it was rigged, it was a disgrace. Reince Priebus, the head of the RNC, said, wait a minute, everybody knew what the rules were ahead of time. Did you abide by the rules? Why do you feel it was rigged? Should you have maybe spent more time there?
Well, first of all, when I joined, Lion Ted, you're right about that. When I went into the race, which was in the middle of June, after that, they changed the whole thing in Colorado. And they changed it. I would have done great in Colorado. And instead, they have this arcane system that nobody understands. My people, my delegates went there. They wouldn't put them on the list. And then they even did never Trump after the whole thing was over. Somebody in the local GOP.
The Colorado GOP did tweet out, we did it, never Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fix. It's the politicians. And, you know, I don't know if you folks know, but I'm funding my own campaign. They hate that because they have no control. And they don't like it. And what I'm saying is give it to the voters. And as you probably have heard, on Friday, they're going to have a mass demonstration in Colorado where people are just furious. The Republican folks, they've taken their vote away. They didn't even have the right to vote. And I think it's a very sad situation. And we have, I mean, even here, you know, if you win in Penn, because I have, as you know, a big lead, like 20-some-odd points, and that's a big lead. But That's the good news. The bad news is that I think you get 17 delegates, and the rest of the delegates
There are 70-some-odd delegates,
appointed.
and you actually end up voting for the delegate, not Donald Trump,
That's right.
in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, the bad part, the unfair part, I tell you right now, because, you know, if anything, we're going to clean this whole thing up because we have to bring the voter back into it. The bad part is I could win, really true. I could win Pennsylvania by a landslide. Right now, I'm leading by many, many points. I could win Pennsylvania by a landslide, get 17 delegates, and somebody else could get like 35 or 40, and they didn't even win, but they have connections into the machine. It's not right. It's not right. So you know what I'm doing? And now, in the meantime, I don't want to be complaining too much because we're winning big in delegates, we're winning big in votes, but it's still unfair. It's still unfair.
Do you believe, when you heard John Boehner say that he wanted Paul Ryan, that you can nominate anybody on the convention floor, and Karl Rove said we need a fresh face, and Mitt Romney came out with his strategy, and there were state GOP representatives that have all said, well, it could be somebody that didn't run. And now Paul Ryan said, no, it's not going to be me. It should be one of the people running. But clearly there are people that want to circumvent and disenfranchise the voters. What do you say to them?
Well, I think when a guy like Karl Rove said we need a fresh face, he's absolutely right. We have to get rid of him because his face is just terrible. You know, I don't know if you remember the fiasco, but if you listen to Karl Rove, he thinks Romney won. He's still thinking, he's walking around saying, didn't Romney win? I thought Romney won. Romney choked. He did a terrible job. I mean, the guy was terrible. But look, we do need fresh ideas. Who's a fresher face than me? I've never done this before.
Let me ask this. Look, politics, we always like to say, is a blood sport. And you know what? It's a rough and tumble sport. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's you've been hit hard, you hit hard. It goes back and forth. I'm a little concerned that at the end of this process, that I worry, if you look at social media, for example, Cruz people hate Trump people hate Cruz people, and my fear is...
I have a feeling that name is going to be sticking with him.
Like, I don't want to hear... I'm a conservative, and I'm never Hillary. That's what I want to see happen, and I think the only way to do that is...
No, I agree.
Can you unite the party?
I think we're going to have a great united party. And I've been a united. You know, we have a president right now who's a great divider. He's one of the great dividers of all time. Believe it or not, I'm a united. Now, we started off with 17 people. I had 17 people, meaning I had 16 people hitting me from every angle that you've ever seen. And we hit back, obviously, harder and better, and they're all gone. I mean, most of them are gone. And I will tell you, it's a little bit tough. You know, like when I saw Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush, I didn't want to ask for his endorsement because I hit him very hard. What was the term we used, folks? Low energy? And I don't care. I don't care so much about that, but I will tell you, the party has to unify. We should unify, and we're going to beat Hillary very badly. And if you look at Ronald Reagan...
Have you thought of a nickname for her yet?
I have, actually. I'll release it on one of your next shows, but I don't want to do it.
I think they want to hear it now.
No. But we have some good ones. We have some good ones.
Are we going to hear? But you do have a name picked out for Hillary.
Well, you know, I'd like to use Lion, but we already used it for Ted. We don't want to use it twice, right?
Oh.
No, I actually have, I think, a pretty good name. You know, I've come up with some pretty good names during this campaign. And we have a pretty good one, I think, but we'll try it out here first in about a month. Is that okay?
All right, we'll come back in a month. In a recent interview, you actually named names. You named John Kasich. You named Marco Rubio. You named Scott Walker is another one, and you said a lot of positive things about him, even though they were your opponents. What does that mean? How do we interpret that? Are any of those people on your list if you win the nomination to be vice president?
No, I was really saying I think they're nice people. I get along with these people. I like these people. Again, I've hit them very hard. They hit me and I hit them, and it was always counter, right? It was always counter. But we hit them very, very hard, and they disappeared. Don't forget, when I first did this, Jeb was automatically going to get it. Well, he was gone. Then Walker was going to get it, and he was gone. then Marco, and I did very well in Florida. We won by 20 points. And, you know, all of them. And it's hard, because it's hard to say, would you endorse me? I mean, would you endorse me after what we went through? So I'm not looking for that. What I am looking to do is unify the people. Here's the problem. Just like this, just like Colorado, and I'll tell you what, I would love to get to that march in Colorado or whatever they're going to have, because I hear it's going to be unbelievable. The voters want to take it back. They want to take it back from politicians.
You have said, though, in terms of a VP, you want and you're looking for somebody with political experience.
Yeah, I do think that. I mean, look, I have great business experience. I built a great company. I borrowed $1 million, and I turned it into $10 billion over a relatively, which is good. And with some of the great assets of the world, Turnberry and buildings all over the place, you know, just some of the great assets, Doral in Miami, and great stuff. And it's so good. And you know the truth, I don't say it from a bragging standpoint. I say it because that's the kind of thinking, at least for a period of time until we straighten it out, that's the kind of thinking our country needs. We have to have that. Sean, we owe $19 trillion.
You know, the last time I interviewed you with your wife, and she was very strong in telling you that she, quote, wanted you to be more presidential, maybe stop tweeting late at night. You seem to have regained your footing. You went through probably the toughest 2 weeks in the campaign.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think. Yeah. I mean, they said, you know, because I've had these moments where they said, Trump is finished, he's finished, and then the poll comes out and I'm higher. You know, I say, what happened? But, you know, we've had about 6 of those moments. I didn't think it was that tough. You know, what people don't know, Wisconsin, I was not supposed to do well in Wisconsin. It wasn't supposed to be my place, which is okay. And I got 35 or 36%. And that's a lot. And, you know, a governor with a state much closer got, you know, a much, much smaller number, a very small number. And the entire thing was stacked. They spent millions of dollars on negative ads. You had radio hosts. The whole thing was like a big deal. And Walker doesn't like me much because I got him out of the race. He was another one. He was supposed to win, right? Do you remember Walker was supposed to win? 3 weeks later, it's called bye-bye.
You're going to give a series of speeches, though. You gave a speech at AIPAC. You're giving a series of really serious policy speeches, and about 10 of them.
I'm going to give about
with a teleprompter, serious, well-written,
written by me, but written by me and experts. And you know, look, I believe strongly in policy. I believe strongly in being smart. I was asked on a show recently about NATO, and I said, well, I'll tell you, you know, I've never been too much into a great scholar. Yeah, 68 years old, and I said it's obsolete. And everyone said, oh, that's terrible. And then they looked at it and they said, well, he's right. And here's the other thing. You have 28 countries. We pay for most of it. So why is the United States paying for 28 countries? We're defending them. They have to start paying. And a lot of these countries are very rich countries.